Marcelo, should I go ahead and set you up to translate?
It's up to you, Donna. I'm ready and don't have
Yeah.
any problem. Okay. So
Yeah,
probably
I don't see
it's
anyone
the
else in the
best
room who can translate.
Yes,
So,
just in case people enter and wonders if they have the option
yeah.
for the translation in Spanish.
Okay, we'll do that then.
Thank you.
And again, just a reminder to everyone, first of all, welcome. Good morning. And a reminder that Geshe-la does like to have questions to answer. So anything that you would like to ask, you could either send it to me in chat, or when he asks for questions, you can pipe up. Whatever you're more comfortable with, I'm happy to help. And also, I'll just let everyone know that this is Geshe-la's last Sunday teaching until January. He's taking his break during the month of December. We will have on our next 2 Sunday mornings, we'll have Venerable George Chernoff teaching on Sunday. And Venerable George will also be teaching on Wednesday evenings on the 1st, 8th, and 15th of December. So don't miss the chance to hear him. He's very, very well versed in the Dharma and very charming and witty. So we'll look forward to seeing him and welcoming him next Sunday morning. Geshe Kellick is here.
Good morning. Please have a seat. Have a seat. Oh, yeah. Hold on. Yeah, Alhamdulillah. Start with the prayer.
Let's begin with Shakyamuni Buddha's mantra 3 times. Te ata mune mune maha munaye soha. Te ata mune mune maha munaye soha. Te ata mune mune maha munaye soha. Now, the verse and praise and mantra for Medicine Buddha. Bhagawan, with equal compassion for all, whose name and merely heard dispel the suffering of the lower realms, dispel of disease and the 3 poisons, I prostrate to Medicine Buddha, lapis light. Te ata om bekanze bekanze maha bekanze bekanze raja samugate soha. Te ata om bekanze bekanze maha bekanze bekanze raja samugate soha. Te ata om bekanze bekanze maha bekanze bekanze raja samugate soha. Te ata om bekanze bekanze maha bekanze bekanze raja samugate soha. Te ata om bekanze bekanze maha bekanze bekanze raja samugate soha. Te ata om bekanze bekanze maha bekanze bekanze raja samugate soha. Te ata om bekanze bekanze maha bekanze bekanze raja samugate soha. Okay. Now the 4 measurables. 3 times. May all sentient beings have happiness and the causes of happiness. May all sentient beings be free from suffering and the causes of suffering. May all sentient beings be inseparable from the happiness that is free from suffering. May all sentient beings abide in equanimity, free from attachment for friends or hatred for enemies. May all sentient beings have happiness and the causes of happiness. May all sentient beings be free from suffering and the causes of suffering. May all sentient beings be inseparable from the happiness that is free from suffering. May all sentient beings abide in equanimity, free from attachment for friends or hatred for enemies. May all sentient beings have happiness and the causes of happiness. May all sentient beings be free from suffering and the causes of suffering. May all sentient beings be inseparable from the happiness that is free from suffering. May all sentient beings abide in equanimity, free from attachment for friends or hatred for enemies. Now the verse and praise and mantra for Chenrezig, the Buddha of Great Compassion. Not veiled by any fault, white in color, whose head a perfect Buddha crowns in light, gazing compassionately at all beings, to you, Chenrezig, all-seeing one, I prostrate. Om Mani Padme Hum. Om Mani Padme Hum. Om Mani Padme Hum. Now the verse and praise and mantra for green tar. Tare liberates from psychic existence. Tutare liberates from all fears. Ture liberates from all sickness. I prostrate to the liberator, Mother Tara. Tare tu re soha. 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 Now the refuge in bodhicitta prayer led by Geshe-la.
My friend, please develop a positive intention for the class while I recite Revision Bodhicitta prayer, okay? Sanje chodang soji chonam la chanjo pantong dane jamno. Dage chushe jebe sonam je ando la peje sanje ando mawa sho. Sanje chodang soji chonam la chanjo pantong dane jamno. Dage chushe jebe sonam je ando la peje sanje ando. Sanje chodang soje chonam la chanjo pardon dane jamon dane chuje jebe sonam dola penje sanje ando sho. Oda la meme na miya chi omboda jajin la so chuje chola chawan chabon na sanje sura rabdo shijin dewe binja mawan deda shijin tambe chuje dereshe nje. Namo la yega da nu da ne yega de bo na me yega na do bo de na tamje ke do da ge chue den to kange tu ze ne so ne ta wa tamje pa be je ta be chue ne de ze ba ko dam de la chang che lo oh oh good morning. Venerable Tenzin Lamo, good morning. Venerable Lamo, good morning. Chugila, good morning. Domasi, good morning. Renee, good morning. Meredith, good morning. Mike, good morning. Venerable Kyasan, sorry, didn't see you. Good morning, Nili. Good morning, Pandit Jipati. Good morning, Karen. Good morning, Katina. Good morning, Sandy. And good morning, Mary. Good morning, everybody at the center. I'm not sure how many. Good morning, Peter. Good morning, Susie. Good morning, Elise. Good morning, Felix. Good morning, David. Good morning, Fernanda, Marcelo. Marcelo, thank you very much for translating for people in Patagonia. Good morning, William. Good morning, Dr. Watkin. Good morning, Govina. Good morning, Helen. Good morning, Laura. Good morning, Nico Knight. Good morning, Anthony, Suzanne. Good morning, David. Anybody watching on YouTube, good morning. Welcome back to Sunday Dharma. That's what it's called, Sunday Dharma. Today, Thomas, any questions?
Yes, Geshe-la, we have a couple of questions this morning.
All right.
The first one is actually a request asking, could you please guide the class in a brief analytical meditation? As the object of meditation, could you perhaps use either how to serve a spiritual teacher or impermanence or emptiness? Thank you.
as a object.
The object of the meditation.
Okay.
Analytical, yeah.
Yeah.
And then the other question is about making offerings.
Oh.
And it's two parts. The first question is, why in some prayers, such as the power of truth, do we transform our offerings into suchness? And how do we visualize that? And the second question about offerings is, what is the reasoning behind visualizing all sentient beings in human form when we imagine them surrounding us as we make offerings?
Okay, goodbye. See you next Sunday. Very good question. Very good question. So, first one, the object is like spiritual practice. How is the first questions talking about object of meditations?
Well, the first is a request that you would guide us in a brief analytical meditation on one of these topics, either emptiness, impermanence, or how to serve a spiritual teacher. So to guide us in an analytical meditation on one of those topics.
Second one.
The second one is about making offerings, and it is, why in some prayers do we transform our offerings into suchness, and how do we visualize that? And then what is the reasoning behind visualizing all sentient beings in human form when we imagine them surrounding us as we make offerings?
Visualizing offering, transforming offering, or like transforming offering into suchness. This probably you're talking about, the question is probably based on Vajrayana practice. I don't think that you transform offering into suchness in the Sudayana path. Vajrayana practice, no, first, in order to make offerings, you have to bless the offerings. What you're trying to do is like you has environments, and you yourself, every other beings in the environment and environment itself, and you're trying to visualize that's like something just pure. So nothing impure offerings, color, smell, taste, everything just pure. You yourself is something not like ordinary, something like some kind of divine figure. Environment is something like something pure. So in order to do that, so you need to meditate on shunyata. Without meditating on shunyata, it's hard to see the purity of pure nature of everything. Is hard to see. It's a part of the meditation on shunyata in order to feel or experience the pure nature of everything. So therefore, most of the sadhanas begin with Om-sambhajana sadhana, Sambhajana hum. That Sanskrit word allows you to meditate on shunyata. So then from that deeper understanding of shunyata, then you rise, you have to rise as a deity. You can bless, you can transform everything into purity with this notion of ordinary sense of beings. You cannot do. Therefore, you have to generate yourself as a divine beings. So then probably you visualize, like Ahum, crown chakra, throat chakra, heart chakra. So then light emit from there. So the minute the light touch on the offering, so then all this offering purify all the defect, color, sense, smell, the taste, environment, being within the environment. So then everything, transform into pure natures. Then offering is not just ordinary offering, it's just manifested. Of course, there's actual offering, then like the mentally created offerings. And this like offering is not just offering, it's like it has three characteristic entity of that offering is like not just something like physical, it's more like it's like more like the entity of like wisdom experiencing shunyata. That's the entity of the offering. So the aspect, flower, incense, fruit, whatever that might be, like tactile, the five object, form, sound, smell, taste, tactile. Pretty much all the actual offering is like sums up into these five objects. So then mentally create an object like such as, like Bodhisattva, some of the barter offering based on Sudayana path, and Bodhisattva, some of the barter offering based on the Vajrayana path. So if you know them, so then you can visualize that. So then aspect is just offering itself. Now the function of the offering, the purpose of the offering is to generate like the unification of voidness and great bliss. Unification of voidness and great bliss. For your five senses and the five senses of the object that's in the refuge field, generate. That's the purpose of the offering, to generate unification of voidness and great bliss. You may manage to generate great bliss, so that you're trying to use that very bliss, experience the shunyata. That's exactly what it means, unifications. The great bliss that you generated, so that very bliss experience shunyata, that only happened in Vajrayana path. It never happened in the Sudayana path. The wisdom that experience shunyata is not blissed, it's just troubled. Wisdom. Vajrayana, it is bliss, the very bliss that you experience. Drawing energy through the chakras, through five chakras up and down, so you generate bliss, that very bliss, and you're trying to that very bliss that you're experiencing, then actualize the shunyata. That is the unification of voidness and great bliss. That's exactly what it means. That is the one. That's the one. Okay, so then, try to generate that kind of like bliss for senses, for your own senses, because you already generate yourself as a deity for your senses. That's called self-generation. So then, from generations, that deity that in the marriage fields. So then generate that kind of like bliss for the object of the refuge field. So that's called, so that's how the offerings been made in Vajrayana traditions. I don't think you transform offering into shunyata in Sudayana path. Sudayana path is just offering. Mental offering is there in the Sudayana path and Vajrayana path both. So then inner offering, secret offering, these are the Vajrayana part of the Vajrayana practice. You don't do that in the Sudayana part or lumbering meditations. Okay? That's clear as you can get. That's clear as you can get. Very, very profound questions. But so is no profound answer. The question is more profound than my answer. Question is more profound than my answer. But my answer is now, goat eating grass, only eat the tip Does it finish all the way down, then jump into another grass, and only if the tip of the grass never finish? Is that the question?
Yes, Geshe-la. And the second part of the question is, why do we visualize all sentient beings in human form when we're imagining them?
It's hard to visualize a dog saying refuge in the Buddha prayer. It's easier to think that human is saying dog or cat, mice, cockroach, ants saying like refuge in Buddha. It's hard that to visualize that you are leading them to say. You are leading the mice to say the refuge in Buddha prayer. If you visualize mice in the human form, probably it's easier. I think it's probably easier. Mickey Mouse, you can visualize Mickey Mouse saying refuge to Buddha. So that's for the reasons, because you are leading all of them. You are leading them. You kind of like acting like chanting master, So like. The chanting, according to monastery tradition, when you throw a piece of stone, gravel, into the water, that kind of create the vibrations. First small, then it goes by like that. That's how the chanting should be done. Start with the chanting master, then it goes bigger and bigger, bigger. All right. So then when you do how you say, I'm not sure how you say, like on the mirror, if you blow, not just blow, like ha, so then create some kind of like fog. So that kind of fog that dissolve, it's kind of spread and dissolve into the middle. So that's how the teaching should be, chanting should be end. Should begin like throwing stone in the water, kind of start small, then it get bigger. So then when it ends, it's like blowing on the mirror, it ends. Then all the chanting ends with the chanting master, so the end. So that's for the reason, make your visualizations easier, visualizing them as a human form, going through their own difficulties. My father come from a very remote area of Nepal, the Sikkim. When he came to here state, you remember the Gaiko who speak proper English? It looks exactly the same. So kind of like anyway, so that kind of that makes when he saw that, he's asking me all kind of questions. So anyway, so that's for the reason for make your practice more real. So then you visualize, you visualize that all the father figure, your father and this life father, including all the father people on the right side, mother, left side, all the female figure, relative, distant relative, behind, strangers, enemies in front of you. So then no bias, just want to lead all of them to liberations or enlightenment. So, and that's why you visualize, for the good reason you visualize them, and just not just human form, going through their own difficulties, visualizing when you say, Datang, I, Dhoranamka, all the being vast as space, and you visualize all of them saying the same thing. So then then you rejoice, you rejoice, you did something important, rejoice. So of course it's happening in your imaginations, you imagine them, that's wonderful imagine, okay? Then,
And another question came in, Geshe-la.
the first one, then because first one, there's the guided meditation. So
Oh, yeah.
Another questions. So
The other question,
first one need to keep in the last because like this guidance meditation. You know?
okay. So the other question came in asking, please go deeper on how to meditate on the space between thoughts. And if there's a particular sign or experience that that's what we are actually meditating on.
I think you don't get any mental image, you know, like you could guide yourself around same, my awareness. That's what it's saying, around same, my awareness, my mind. Clear knowing, you're saying my mind, clear knowing, that's what you say. I don't think you get any image. What you said. Do you get any image when you say my mind, clear knowing? Are you getting any image? Not really. So that because that's not yet they're getting any image because clear knowing doesn't have form and shape and color. So that's why having a hard time to transform that idea and image. I think it's very hard to do. Such as Tongsang Namgatabu, empty space. Empty space. That's pretty much it. Like a mirror. Like a mirror. No reflections, zero reflections. Like mirror, zero reflections. And then clarity is there, brightness is there, clarity is there. It's like that. Has the ability to reflect. If you bring anything in front of that, it will reflect. Like any object, you know, so like that. No, but we should not get confused about the death dissolution practice. The very end, that you experience like this clear sky, like atom, not atom like season.
Atom, yes.
Atom or yeah, that's like that you experience. Sky has color, space. I'm not sure that's not really color. When you get dark, there's space. There is a space. When it's very light during the daytime, there's space. So maybe something like that, you know, like not like space in the darkness, or space during the daytime, like space, like here. Like that. Nothing really much to explain, you know, so it's more like, I was wondering, in the teaching, it didn't mention, that needs to be clarified. It didn't say space between thought. It did not say that. In my opinion, here in the West, when you talk about space between thought and the space that mentioned, it doesn't say space, it's like empty, like Tongsang Namgatabu, empty like space. That's what it, in the text, that's exactly what it says. Space like empty like space. It did not mention space between thoughts, so you should not think, oh, that word is, that's how he worded in the text. It's not worded like that. How it worded is worded like empty like space. Has the ability to reflect everything. That's what it meant. Then I was, in my opinion, here in the West, when you talk space between thought, pretty much same thing. Same thing. When you focus on that, there should not be any other thought. there should be space between thought. There should not be any thought except these concentrations. Okay. As I mentioned before, the beginning, we cannot expect we can be there long time. No, in the beginning, seconds, few seconds, 10 seconds, 15 seconds, that's how it's going to happen. You'll be there a few seconds. Just need to be happy. If you can sit, if you can focus few seconds, that proves you could increase that time. You could increase. If you cannot focus at all, you cannot even focus second. No, that proves that you could focus. You could focus. That time can be expanded from 10, 30, like that. That happens. Slowly, the duration of that noise on the object can be expanded. No question, no doubt, definitely can be expanded. So there's some information that we need to know what's going to happen when I meditate, what's going to happen. Yeah, there are a number of things that's going to happen. Either you get agitated, that thinking that you can focus long enough, extra stress caused by yourself for not good reason. You should not think that you can stay there for a long period of time, but that's not going to happen. That's a part of the process. You have to expect that's going to happen. Need to relax. And to be happy that you can stay there a few seconds, that's pretty good. Not agitated, I cannot stay there, like what's wrong with me? No. Then that thought is the wrong. There's nothing wrong with you. That thought that you are thinking, that's the wrong. That thought, you should not think like that. That is the wrong thing to do. Okay? Being there for a few seconds, there's nothing wrong. You can't say what's wrong with me, there's nothing wrong. That's part of the process. You are just thinking that you're something wrong. That very thought is the wrong one. You should not have that thought. It's not just you, it's going to happen like that, everybody. Then gradually, that, gradually increase. Oh. Please don't develop spiritual stress. Not necessary. So that's one thing that could happen, need to be aware. First, should not have a lot of concern. It's not clear, it's not bright. That should not be the concern at the beginning. Just stick with the space between two. Just stick there. Not very clear, not very bright. Not to concern. The text mentioned. Whoever composed the text went through that, sharing experience with us. Should not readjust again and again, should not readjust your focus because your worry is not clear, it's not bright. Down the road, it will destroy your stability. Stability or stillness on the object will get weak over time, not good. Did not advise, did not do that. When the stability achieved, when there's some stillness and stabilities, clarity, brightness will follow down the road, will happen slowly. Need to be patient, slowly will happen. First and foremost, make sure that the mind stick with that's like clear knowing, like space, has the ability to reflect everything. That's your focus, you focus there. So then the first probably clarity will happen, so then brightness will happen, So then then need to not worry, need to beware, not worry, to beware about excitement mind, thinking mind. There's something to be mindful about. Okay? Oh. Then, you know, as I mentioned before, there's like 6 methods recommended by highly realized masters, many of them. How to place, there's like 6 methods. How the placement should object here, in this case, clear knowing, or you could say space between thought or clear knowing. This is the object. How the placement should on clear knowing should be looks like. There's 6 methods been mentioned. Big bites, not big bite, big bird gliding into the sky. Doesn't require much wing movement. It just glides. Once a while, maybe few movement, then it glides. If you move all the time like this, not necessary. It's not necessary. Maybe we do, not necessary. Or child looking at things. They are not worried about the detail. They just look at what it appear to them. Just look at. They don't judge. They don't have stories to say. They don't have judgment. They don't judge based on their perception. They just look at them, not very much concerned about the detail. Should be like that. Your placement on the clear knowing should be like that. No detail, no to worry. Like that. Child looking at things. Not concerned about the detail, just seeing as it is, not very much worried about that. Okay, like that. Or like oceans. Deep down doesn't move in the surface. It moves here, there a little bit, but that movement doesn't affect the bottom of the ocean. It's always still like that. There's 6 types of method. I think you already took note. I explained that one by one, looking at the text. So you need to use that as a simji shatab. Nanjo töndan dempa ches. Simji shatab, those like the method, how the placement should object be like the 6 method. That makes Nenjor yoga. Means practice. Don't think about physical movement, yoga. Nenjor, Tibetan word. Nenjor. Nenjor pa, male practitioner. Nenjor ma, female practitioners. Nenjor means practice. Nenjor tönda temperature. It's mentioned 6 method at the very end of the 2 lines. It says, these 6 methods will make your practice successful. In this regard, meditations. And this is specifically mentioned in this particular meditation. It doesn't mention Lamrim meditations. It mentioned in this particular meditation, these 6 methods apply for this particular meditation. It doesn't apply to Lamrim meditation. Lamrim meditations usually like analytical or review meditations. You review or you analyze. This 6 method is specifically designated to this particular meditation. Simply shadar to nanjo tönda dempa. It makes your practice meaningful, means successful. Okay? So that's how the placement, if you wonder, my placement on the clear knowing, how they should be, it should be like that. Should be like that. What I need to be aware down the road, thinking mind, excitement mind. That's pretty much you need. As I mentioned, like reading about this meditation again and again probably does not help. There's certain knowledge you need in order to do this meditation correctly, successfully. This meditation will become very productive doing meditation again and again, not by just reading again and again. Reading again and again, that's not the way to improve these meditations. This meditation will become productive if you do it again and again, okay? Of course, then other, like Lamrim, all other teaching about emptiness, pasankhya view, or reading, that will help. It will increase your knowledge. It's very much needed. Here, focus, amount of time you spend on the object, that's very, very important than reading about all kinds of books about how to do. Not my benefit, that's all books, pretty much same thing. What need to be aware? Thinking mind, excitement mind, how I should place my mind on object, 6 methods to use that. Or beginning, clarity, brightness, something to be worried about, none. Most important is to make sure the mind is on object. The clarity, that's why I said child looking at things. There's no clarity, there's no details, nothing to worry about, okay? So then eventually the goal is that meditation become like still water, still lake. The meditation become like still lake over time. So then separate set of awareness, that's the goal, separate set of awareness. So now analyzing, or maybe like, who am I? Now like going beyond conventional nature of mind you have been meditating on, pretty successful. Now you are going beyond conventional. Now you are for thinking about ultimate nature of awareness. Where to get there? So now then that's how you should meditate on like shunyata, begin with, self. Self, that's how the meditation begins, with self. So then need to remember the 4 principal points, 4 critical points. The first one is identifying the object that needs to be negated. That's exactly what it's called and how it's worded. Means trying to figure it out, how you define yourself. That's all, how you define yourself. Maybe you hold so tightly, we all do. We hold tight on self. That makes us vulnerable. Of course, you need to cherish yourself, but also it's very important to understand the very thing that you're holding so tightly probably needs to have some clue. Otherwise, so much built on that is like almost like building a castle on the sand. So it's important to learn to educate yourself how you define yourself. Each time when you say self, how you define yourself, then you go through that. Every single part, emotion, consciousness, body, water, heat, space, oxygen you breathe, you go through one by one. So then not just one time, so need to at least remind yourself, on a daily basis. So then see if your perception change about things. And maybe everything seems so serious now, eventually it becomes like there's nothing really serious. It's nothing really serious, it's a reflection of your mind. It's like your perceptions. your perception can be changed. It can be changed. Can be changed. Then see if that meditation will it change my perceptions about things, about myself, about things. It's supposed to change. It's supposed to change. So then eventually, like seriousness become less and less effective. So then your whole perception change. So that the end. So that meditations like meditation on shunyata. So then that helps you to because the first that focus is needed. Focus is needed, very much needed, because in order to experience shunyata, you need strong focus. Not just that, you need a lot of merit too. A lot of merit. Means like a lot of positive verbal actions, a lot of positive physical actions, a lot of positive mental action are needed. In order to experience shunyata. This is very much needed. Okay, and don't think this is something that I can do. Sorry, it sounds complicated, isn't it? But problem that complicated we experience is complicated too. It's not simple. It's complicated too. So dealing with that, needs some strong practice. So then otherwise, don't worry. So then you are already enlightened. You don't know what you're enlightened or not. Maybe it makes you happy, but not true. It's not true. So America, what is it? No pain, no gain. Sacrifice. Meditation. So then slowly, slowly. So slowly. So you could learn. If Gishigele can learn, you can learn, of course. Gishigele is nothing. It's nothing. So maybe you have more knowledge than I do. So if I can learn, definitely you can learn. No questions. You think, some human. It's not like celestial being. Some human did it, like us did. You can do the same thing, slowly, but consistency. How is the consistency? How is it?
Consistency, yes.
Maintenance, either as your house or your spiritual practice, maintenance is very much required. Maintenance, daily, something every day. Even one drop, make sure the well doesn't get completely dry up. If you can pour one glass, make sure that one drops go there. Make sure there's even few drops every day, one drop by drop. Drop by drop, you can't underestimate the drop. Container can fill drop by drop, or it can fill by just pouring that, but it can fill drop by drop. Make sure every day one drop goes there every day. So, and prioritize. Your thought can expand. Your thought can expand. Your thought can be guided by practice. Your perception can be guided by practice. Your perception can change through practice about things. Basically everything. How you see things, how you react things. Your practice really have huge impact on your day-to-day life, how you react, how you see things, how you prioritize, how you put things into perspective. Someday you don't get so usually, so you have plenty of time to do your practice, sometimes you don't get that kind of time. You have something happen, people comes. Don't go through spiritual stress. Impermanent. It's okay. There'll be tomorrow. It's okay. No. So just be aware. Just be aware. Sometimes nobody's around, so there's plenty of time. Dedicate more time for the spiritual practice. Sometimes there's people that comes, don't like make them unhappy because you don't get chance to do your daily practice. No, so need to be flexible. When you have time, dedicate. When there's no time, just enjoy. Beware about impermanent. Beware positive actions. Beware importance of compassion. Beware importance of bodhicitta. Beware other person is looking every single second for happiness. Don't ruin that. If you cannot contribute, don't ruin. No good. No. So just to be aware. So that's what I'm saying, that spiritual practice will have positive impact on your life. It kind of change your perceptions. Oh. Yeah, so there's something you can be aware. Now, before you say a lot of word here, read them, eventually all these things transform into idea. Before so much words needed, now it just become idea. Before it takes a few hours, now it takes like 5 minutes. It's done because it's all transformed into idea. It doesn't need to sit down, read, or it's all here. You can just, and you can carry that all the time. You can carry it all the time. Okay, so not being liberated from samsara, life is all kind of complicated. Should not make it more complicated by unreasonable stress you generated for not good reason. So when you eat, then you eat. I think when you eat Thanksgiving Day, when you eat apple pie, you eat all kind of pies. Don't regret. Should not regret. So there's no doing one thing with all kind of mindset. If it's not positive, no good. If it's not positive, it's not good. If it's positive, oh, then it's good. So like that, so we make our life more complicated. So it's not necessary, it's not needed, it's not necessary. Either it's based on spiritual practice. Oh, I don't get a chance to do this and that. Don't say I all the time. So just rejoice all the practice you have been done. So all the practice that you're looking for to do more, just rejoice. Just rejoice. Okay. Don't stress out your life for no good reason. So it all boils down on the mind. It all boils down on the mind, mindset. On mindset. So why the Bodhisattva manifests in all kind of form, not just human form? Why Bodhisattva manifests in as a bird, as a pig? What you can do just living with a pig? In our mind doesn't make sense. Yeah, there's reason. Maybe it's giving comfort. Maybe can't really teach, but can you imagine that Bodhisattva manifesting as an animal? Can you imagine that? How much you can teach that? You can't teach. Why they manifested? Oh, that reason. Oh. So anyway, so much nonsense has been said. Sorry for that. But I said it many times. Please don't think, oh, Gisela, why Gisela repeating again and again? This is necessary. It's necessary. It's necessary. It's something that we need to think. It's not just read one time, just live here. No. The people here in the West, particularly in the West, become so critical about themselves. Wrong. That's a wrong idea. That's ignorance. It's not good. That's why the Lamrim teaching, after the Guru devotion, the first and foremost important topic is precious human life. You understand that now? Why is that? What is that? Why is that? You think about the rest of the topic, there are so many topics. Why the precious human life come in the very beginning? We have problems. We have problems that we don't look at ourselves as something positive. We don't have faith in ourselves. We just talk. We just talk. We don't have faith. We don't believe in ourselves. We look down on ourselves. That's not how Lamrim meditation begin. Lamrim meditation begin with seeing yourself as something precious, meaningful, difficult to find. How often you thought about that? How often? How often you think about yourself as like something unworthy? Oh, I don't think I can enlighten or because of this and that. How often you thought you can, I can enlighten because of this and that? How often? Now you see the reason why Lamrim teachings begin after the Guru devotions, first topic, precious human life. You know why? Because we have problems. We human has problems. We don't treat ourselves very well, so we just talk, we just say. We don't think, oh, precious, or we just not think precious. We think preciousness in something else. That's a wrong idea. So that we have to have faith in yourself. You have to understand you possess Buddha nature, pure nature. Your mind is not impure, it's pure. It's like diamond buried under the ground. Don't think there's no diamond. There is diamond. You need to just dig the ground. There's diamond. It's been diamond there. It never changed. It's there. Oh. Feeling good about yourself is a part of the Lamrim practice. I'm not just saying this to make you happy. It is part of Lamrim practice. Feeling good about yourself. When you're feeling bad, when you're looking down on yourself, right from the beginning of the Lamrim topic, it's not going right. Your meditation on Lamrim is not doing well. Very first topic, after the Guru devotions, okay? So every day, so feel grateful when you awake. Feel grateful that you're alive. And just remember that you have Buddha nature. Just remember what you can do. Or I can at least say few mani mantras. That's almost impossible not to get time to say a few mani mantras. What is the benefit? Every hair on four-legged animal on this planet can be counted one by one. Reciting mani mantra benefit is far more than that. Can you imagine that? Only few mantra. That's almost impossible not to find a time. If you cannot find this time, that means this preciousness, precious life could slip through your hand by doing nothing. That's the risk. That's the risk every day. It's not that difficult. Don't think, oh, spiritual practice is so difficult. It's not difficult. When you see some living being, moving living being, just wish something good. You create merit there. It's not that difficult to create merit. Not difficult, It all boils down to mindset, as I said. Okay, so probably so much has been said. Sorry. So now time is over. Maybe see you January. See you 2022, January 2022, or maybe December. Lama Tsongkha birthday, maybe one more time Lama Tsongkha birthday. So then, January, okay. And wish you all good health and upcoming Christmas and good health, good mindset. Please remember the very first topic in Lamrim. After the Guru devotion, if you can remember that, you can tell yourself, I'm meditating on Lamrim. Yes, you are meditating on Lamrim. You are meditating on Lamrim. Walking in the park, talking to people, Christmas time, exchanging gifts. If you're thinking, I'm precious, are you meditating on Lamrim? Yes, you are meditating on Lamrim. Okay. Well, thank you very much, Sen. And yeah, so we'll end here. Then Lamula will do dedications. Thank you very much.
Start with the dedication verses from Master Shantideva's Guide to the Bodhisattva's Way of Life.
Mm.
Okay. May all beings everywhere, plagued by sufferings of body and mind, obtain an ocean of happiness and joy by virtue of our merits. May no living creature suffer, commit evil, or ever fall ill. May no one be afraid or belittled with a mind weighed down by depression. May the blind see forms. May the deaf hear sounds. May those whose bodies are worn with toil be restored on finding repose. May the naked find clothing, the hungry find food. May the thirsty find water and delicious drinks. May the poor find wealth, those weak with sorrow find joy. May the forlorn find hope, constant happiness, and prosperity. May there be timely rains and bountiful harvests. May all medicines be effective and wholesome prayers bear fruit. May all who are sick and ill quickly be freed from their ailments. Whatever diseases there are in the world, may these never occur again. May the frightened cease to be afraid, and those bound be freed. May the powerless find power, and may people think of benefiting each other. For as long as space remains, or as long as sentient beings remain, until then may I too remain to dispel the miseries of the world. Now the long life prayers, beginning with the one for His Holiness, the Dalai Lama. In the land encircled by snow mountains, you are the source of all happiness and good, all-powerful Chenrezig, Tenzin Gyatso. Please remain until samsara ends. The long life prayer for Sarah J. Khensa Rinpoche, Jetsun Losang Dalek. The one who mastered his speech at a very young age, the one with great patience who received the name Avatare, the one with great precision who spread the teachings of Lama Tsongkhapa on bliss and void, Lama, ornament of the yellow hat tradition, please remain until samsara ends. No long life prayer for Lama Zopa Rinpoche. You who uphold the subduer's moral way, who serve as the bountiful bearer of all, sustaining, preserving, and spreading Manjunath's victorious doctrine, who masterfully accomplish magnificent prayers honoring the three jewels, Savior of myself and others, your disciples, please live long. And then 7 Tara mantras for Geshe, Gelik and Geshe samples, long, healthy, happy love. Om Tare Tu Re Soha. 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 Om Tare Tu Re Soha.
One last word I want to say, so don't please forget to say yourself thank you when you think about something good about yourself. Thank yourself, because why? You are the one who's doing it. Thank yourself and encourage to do it again tomorrow. When you think about something negative, then please, out of compassion, encourage not to do that again, because it doesn't do any good for yourself, okay? So need to reward yourself and encourage yourself to do it again, okay? Because you are the one who's doing it, either based on Guru devotion practice or Lamdin practice, you are the one who's doing it. You should thank yourself, okay? Reward yourself. Then if you are not thinking negative of yourself, if you are thinking negative of self, out of compassion. Talk to, not to do it again. Okay. Well, thank you very much. So then see you soon.
Teacher, Geshe-la.
Oh,
Thank you,
Geshe-la.
Geshe-la.
Thank you, Geshe-la.
Thank you.
Appreciate
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you,
Namaste.
Geshe-la. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Geshe-la.
Oh, yeah, thank you.
Thank you.